Hey, YouTube family, welcome to Jackie with a Q. How's everybody doing? Hope everybody making it happen for themselves, right? Gotta make it happen for yourself, okay? Before we get started, because we got a lot to talk about, right? Before we get started, don't forget to drop down in the description box and like, share, comment, subscribe. Like, share, comment, subscribe, right? Again, welcome to Jackie with a Q, where the Q stands for Queen, the Q stands for Question, and the Q stands for Quality of Life, right? Excuse me. And we're going to talk about quality of life today, right? And that is that horrific, horrendous, I can't even figure all the words I want to use, debacle that happened yesterday. Now, we're going to call a thing a thing. This was not a protest. It was not nowhere near peaceful. And this was not no demonstrate, this was none of that. This was domestic terrorism. Okay? This was domestic terrorism, right? And what they tried to do, and this was led by Trump. This was led by Trump. I got a lot to say about this shit because this shit is unbelievable. We look like laughing stocks all over the world, right? And it's very unsafe. But what these were crazy white folks. We're going to call them what they is. Crazy white folk, Trump supporters that thought in their little bitty dumbass minds they could stop the Senate from counting the electoral votes and moving on with the presidential process. This is something that they do, right? They thought they could stop that, right? They thought they could stop that. Now, when I was talking to my friend and he was like, look at, oh my God, right? So I turned to it. I just happened to be on my break and turned to it, right? At first I thought, is this a movie? Like, is this shit real? Is it a tour? Like, what's going on? People were all inside the Capitol building, not around outside bullshitting around and messing around. It was on the inside, looking mean and monstrous, right? Now, like I said, they were trying to certify, which is a procedure that they do, the presidential votes, the electoral votes, right? Now, these people were set to go. See, Trump has been giving, I want to say, subliminal messages or, dog whistles, right, to these ignorant ass people, right? So they knew that something was going to happen on the 6th, I am told, but they didn't take the appropriate steps to secure the building. They did not. If you knew something was coming, that's just like if you at your house and you know some people coming through, you're going to do what you're going to get ready for them, right? Well, anyway, so now these people, when I saw this, y'all, when I was watching the footage live, I couldn't believe this shit. Like, they was kicking in window. They climbed all the way up the building. Like, what the fuck, right? They climbed all the way up the building, right? They was kicking in doors, kicking in windows. They was just having a way, right? I saw pictures, and this is another thing. That building is huge. I want to know, how did they find Nancy Pelosi's office in certain rooms? How did they know where they were? If the president didn't tell them, right? How did they know? They have a picture of they got a picture of Billy Bob with his legs crossed, back in the chair with his legs crossed on Nancy Pelosi's desk. And then he left a note that said, "We will not back down." Now, the government cannot take this as, country hillbilly redneck bullshit, right? This shit is serious. You know what I'm saying? This shit is real, real serious. All of my friends, especially my friends in Cleveland, is like, we strapped, we ready. Because if it turns into a race war, which is what they want, this is what Trump wants. He wants to incite a race war. Now, the problem with that is, we are not our grandmama now. We not them people. We are not them people. And if we ain't showed the Karens and the Bobs, we'll knock you the fuck out. We not them people. We are not them people. And even though they were in D.C. at the Capitol, they could have made one wrong turn and been around a whole bunch of niggas that tore their ass up, right? Now, they still there. They say they still there. They still in them hotels rooms and everything. Now, let me tell you what I don't understand. So D.C., if anybody ain't ever been to D.C., all the buildings are low. There are no skyscrapers in D.C. Reason being for security. For airspace and all that. They supposed to be able to see. Y'all didn't see these busload of motherfuckers coming? Y'all didn't see them? Y'all didn't see him. If it, you know, I'm just speaking on Cleveland. If they got something downtown at the square, it's going to be motherfuckers on bikes, on motorcycles, on horses, in cars. They're going to pull out the helicopter. You know, I don't understand why y'all weren't ready for this bullshit, right? Why were you not ready? So in Trump's little bitty ignorant ass mind, he think he can stop the president from to be president, Biden, from taking the office. He is basically like, he wants to recount. He's refusing. He can't believe he lost. He is a fucking spoiled kid. Damn near 80 years old, right? So I couldn't believe my eyes. And I watched it. I never really watched CNN unless something going on. I watched it all day, all night. You know, I watched it because I could not believe, you know, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like, are they really storming this building, right? That's number one. Okay. And so, you know, sometimes I get in Facebook, Instagram, Twitter beefs with the people, with the social media white folks, right? So, you know, I was talking about it, and one of the white guys said, well, what about the lady that got shot? This is about the lady that got shot. She shouldn't have took her ass in there and tried to break down the window. The man had a gun. He shot her. Now, you know, he was protecting himself. They had already put a barricade. You gonna break the window, break the window. What was he supposed to do? And she had a Trump thing around her neck. They really down with him. I don't know what. See, this is what I don't understand. They had a secret meeting somewhere. I don't know where the secret white folk meeting be. But they had one, right? They had a secret meeting, and they was unified in the bullshit that they did, right? Now, they're talking about invoking the 25th Amendment. I didn't know what the 25th Amendment was. I had to Google it. The 25th Amendment is when you can remove the president, right? So they're still trying, I just heard before I went on my break, that whatever governor, I don't know whether he had a funny last name, they're getting ready to try to remove him. And if they remove him, now they don't know if they're going to remove him with the 25th Amendment or if they're going to impeach him, right? But see, this is the thing. Y'all let this clown in there. Right? Just didn't know what level of clownness he was going to be on, right? Y'all let him in there. Y'all pushed him. Y'all put him up there, put him in there. First of all, he should have stayed on TV or stayed doing whatever it was he was doing before. He was not presidential in the first place. But what we found out was that he was a mean, horrible, despicable, maniacal, diabolical man. That's what we found out, right? Now, what kind of president are you that you can't bow out gracefully and concede to the next president and go and sit the fuck down somewhere, right? So he didn't do anything for hours. And then he finally said, and still it was a message within the message. Yeah, you know, we got to stop this, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, sometimes we got to do this and we got to do that. He still sent a message to them like, stay down with the shit y'all doing, right? And I have never, you know, now let me say this to you. If we can't guard the Capitol, right? How are we going to guard the land? How are we going to guard our country, right? Now, there are other countries, our enemies, you know, that are paying attention to this. This dumb motherfucker done set us up to all get fucked up if somebody want to. You know what I'm saying? That we ain't on our P's and Q's. What I don't understand, I've listened to it today because I had to get an understanding of it, and my friend told me last night. So I already know, you know, the mayor of D.C. is a black woman. I wrote her name down so we can all check her out. I knew she was black, but I know her name. Muriel Bowser. And she's been the mayor since 2015, right? There is no governor in D.C. because D.C. is a District of Columbia, something, right? But so the armed forces are the ones, the general is the one to deploy the National Guard. They would not. Now, they on their way now, but they did not, right? So it was up to the mayor. And I just heard her, they had a press conference. I just heard her say that anything federal, she has no jurisdiction over. That's the federal government. So she had nothing. All she could do was call the state police and her police, the Metropolitan Police. That's all she could do. So that means that the powers that be said, fuck it, let it happen. That's what they said. Let it happen. You didn't, employ the National Guard. Let me tell y'all something. I lived in a city when I lived in Cincinnati, and they was shooting. This was years ago, and they was shooting niggas and killing them, right, like they doing now. And they shot this guy in the back and killed him. They had shot a guy that was mentally disturbed. He had a brick in his hand. Can't remember the other incidences, right? Niggas rioted. They rioted. So they shut us down, right? And they had a curfew in place. And the National Guard was deployed. We couldn't come outside. We couldn't come on the porch. We couldn't come in the yard. You had to be in. I want to say, because it was summertime and it was early. I want to say it was 6 or 7 o'clock. It might have been 8, but you know, it's still light outside at 8. So everybody, you kicking and doing what you want to do, you got to rush home because you could not be nowhere. Nowhere. You had to be in your house, not on the porch, not in the backyard, front yard, nowhere. Not even in your damn window, probably. But you had to be in your house, right? And it was enforced. And I want to say it was in place for maybe, I want to say about 7 days. I don't remember because after that I left and came back to Cleveland. But they can do that. But they refuse to do that. Now, I'm going to talk about what would have happened had it been us, right? In a little bit, right? I just want y'all to get a full understanding of what's going on right here, right now, right? So they didn't deploy the National Guard. Now, there have been a lot of cabinet members and administration that have now resigned, right? And the ones that are left say the reason why they're staying is because they don't want Trump to put in somebody else that's going to be worse than him in these positions, right? But they're resigning. They're getting out of there like roaches when you turn the light on. You know, it's an embarrassment. And a lot of the Republicans, they're on CNN talking. They don't know what to do with this fool. But y'all put him in place. Y'all thought this was cute. Y'all thought this was something, right? Thought this was something. And you cannot put a politician, I hope they'd have learned the lesson. You cannot put a politician, a non-politician, in a very high place in politics as the president. He was not even a politician and y'all made him president. What kind of sense? You know, if I was a retard, let's just say I just can't jump down from outer space. Common sense would say that ain't what you do, right? Common sense would say that, right? So now, you know, they trying to just figure out how to get rid of him, right? What I hope and what I've always hoped is that he would get impeached. I don't want him to have the rights and privileges of former presidents. He don't deserve to have any rights as a president. Secret Service, the money you get, the housing you get. He don't deserve none of that shit. He don't deserve that. He fucked up America. You let a virus spread rapidly. And do you know, I was listening the other day before, it was yesterday, that one of the people on the Senate floor or whatever said that she had to leave because a lot of them weren't wearing no mask. They refused to wear masks. A lot of the Republican senators didn't want to put on no mask. Y'all still don't want to put on a mask. Y'all still don't want to put on a mask. I ain't got no understanding, right? So, he fucked up the government. He fucked us up. He fucked us up. And now you've made us the laughing stock of the world, right? And, you know, the countries that are our enemies, Iran, Korea, Russia, those countries that are our enemies, they watching this shit. They watching this like, ooh, look at these idiots, right? So, you know, I want him to be impeached. I don't want him to get no rights. Fuck invoke it and, you know, you're going to make Pence the president and then he going to still get all the rights and you know, because they're saying they don't think something else is going to happen. Because like I said, those people are still in D.C. I just saw that. They still in them hotels. They said they was in them hotels in the lobby smoking cigars. They just running rampant in D.C. Right? Now then, you know, they didn't arrest as many people as I felt should have been arrested because let me tell y'all, when they had the curfew, I was watching it. I couldn't hardly work for watching it. So the curfew started at 6 p.m. I'm waiting to see because if it's a curfew, like I said, I've been in a situation like that. Everybody's supposed to go home. Let's go and get arrested. Period. That's what happens, right? So finally, some police came from other states or somewhere. Mind you, the National Guard still was not deployed, right? I didn't see SWAT. I didn't see helicopter. I didn't see none of that shit, right? So they had the shields, right? And they pushed them back. They finally got everybody up out of the Capitol. Now, let me tell y'all something. Them folks was in there taking pictures in people's offices. They were sitting on the Senate floor with their leg. It was a mess. It was a mess, right? And I see today that they got some pictures of some people, and if you know them, you turn them in and all that. Y'all had the peoples. Y'all had them right there, right? And, you know, I was watching that video when the lady got shot, but I didn't understand what happened to her until today. I was looking at it, and she fell out, and they was all over her. But, you know, those senators that were on the Senate floor were terrified. And I think what those people thought they were going to do is hold hostages. Because why would you want to be up in there? What was the point of getting up in there while they was holding the meeting? I think they were going to hold hostages, right? But I want to say it was the Secret Service because they had guns from the inside of the Senate floor, right? And they had barricaded the door. That's how the lady got shot. They had barricaded the door, put something up against the door. You still going to bash through it. You're a female, first of all. You still going to bash through it. And the man had the gun. So what was he supposed to do? You know, like I said, I was having a little Twitter beef with white boy. He said, well, ain't nobody going to say nothing about the white lady that got shot. She put her dumb ass in that position. She got herself killed. She got herself killed. I don't know what type of adrenaline, I don't know what type of shit they ate before you left, but she put herself in that position, right? So, like I said, I don't want him to get any rights and privilege. I just don't. I don't want him to get any of the rights and privilege that a leaving president gets, right? Now this is what I want to talk about. Let's say it was 30,000 Black Lives Matter people, or 30,000 Muslims, 30,000 black folks, period. Do y'all know it would have been a bloodbath? They would have had helicopters. Motherfuckers would have been coming down on ropes like G.I. Joe. They'd have been sniping, you know, because, you know, the buildings are low. That's what they're designed for. Let me tell y'all something. When Cleveland had the Black Lives Matter situation this summer, they had snipers on the roof, right? And they had tear gas and all that shit, right? So why they ain't had no tear gas? Where was the hoses? Where was the dog? Where was anything that y'all do when black folks have a protest? And we're not going to call this a protest. This was a goddamn, this was anarchy. This was anarchy. This was anarchy. When you don't agree, when you try to overturn the government and do whatever the fuck you want to do, that's called anarchy. And that's what this was, right? And then they stood there. They pushed them back. You know, they walked them back. They walked them back and stood there, but I didn't see no arrest being made. They didn't have no arrest. Now, just now, I couldn't watch the whole press conference because I got bits and pieces because I'm working, right? But the mayor, the black woman, let me see, get her name right, Muriel Bowser, basically said she had no jurisdiction. Wasn't nothing she could do but what she did. Right? So now the FBI done got called in. You know, they got pictures. They looking at folks, and now they building a big wall for the inauguration. Now, this is what I fear. Because Joe Biden did have a press conference yesterday and said stop and blah, blah, blah. This is what I feel, and this is what I fear. I just think this is too much stress for a man of his age. This is too fucking much, right? Now, if you evil and diabolical like Trump, it's okay because they're about the same age. That's okay because you full of evilness, right? But for somebody whose heart is not like that and you ain't built like that, I think it's too much. I think it's too much, right? You know, I don't know what's going to happen with this presidency, you know, but I hope Kamala is prepared and ready and have our back because we're going to have hers. You know, I know everybody said she put a lot of niggas in jail, you know. Yeah, that was her job. That was her job at the time, right? But I just hope that she really got our back, and I hope she watching this and see this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because them folks was crazy. They was uniformed. I'm still trying to figure out where they had a goddamn secret meeting at. Where was the secret meeting at? Right? Because, you know, Trump has been trying to incite a race war. So I don't know what you think. See, this is what I understand. So you want a race war. You think niggas up today gonna allow that shit? Y'all have seen how we slap the shit out you, punch you, beat you, knock you out. We not our grandparents. We're not the black folks of yesteryear. We not Martin Luther King-ish. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what they thinking, right? You know, like I said, a lot of my friends, my son called me like, Ma, make sure you ready. You know, I'm like, I'm cool because I'm in an area, you know, these white folks get too much money. They ain't trying to do nothing, I don't think. But keep your eyes open. Like I told everybody yesterday, be aware. I wouldn't go out. Now, let me tell you what I wouldn't do. Depending on where you live. I wouldn't go, especially people down south or people that's live in desolate areas or rural areas. I wouldn't fuck around in the nighttime, driving on no back roads and shit like that. Unless you in the hood or in the city or something like that. I wouldn't fuck around like that. Because you don't know what these people are thinking. If they all gathered up, got off work, used their money to get to D.C. to do this, no telling. And the climb, you know, when I saw people climbing up, scaling the walls, I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Where is the people? Where is the people? Where is the tear gas? If a few of us just protest for Black Lives Matter, Everybody niggas getting arrested, they kill it. You know, all kind of shit that happened, right? This was totally uneven. This was very illegal and dead ass wrong. Just dead wrong, y'all. You know, America, the capital. So what's gonna happen next? Y'all gonna get enough nerve to go to the White House? You know what I'm saying? What's gonna happen? You know, this is troubling to me. This is troubling to me, right? And it should be troubling to y'all, right? So keep your eyes open. Don't trust these Karens. Don't trust these Bobs. You know, and see, the thing is, okay, so maybe I know everybody's not the same. So there's some nice white folks in the world. Yes, it is. The problem I have is, y'all know these people over here is radical, right? And you see them being radical, but you don't say, the nice white folks don't say nothing. You just as bad as them. That's my opinion, right? But anyway, also I want to say kudos to Georgia. Y'all did that. Y'all did that. You know, I'm just proud of that, right? Because, you know, we got to turn these states blue because this shit crazy, y'all. I don't know what's going to happen with our democracy. I don't know what's going to happen with our government. I don't know what's going to happen with the United States. I don't know what's going on, right? But like I said, be careful. Watch your step. I've been saying that, right? You know, and let me tell y'all this. That was definitely a super spreader event. Definitely a super spreader event. And you know they got a new strain of corona out, right? I'm sure some of these motherfuckers had the new strain, right? And they said if we don't watch it, I just saw this on CNN, if we keep playing with this corona, it's going to be, I don't know who said it, but it was going down across the screen, right? Because we got so much going on, and then y'all do this. We already have enough distractions and situations going on. You know what I'm saying? 2021, looking about like it's going to be 2020, right? So y'all stay prayed up. You know, stay prayed up. Stay out the way. You know, they did. And let me say this. So now, because Trump was inciting bullshit, right? So they suspended all his social media accounts. Facebook, Twitter. I guess he had Instagram too. I don't know. But they suspended all of his account. And then before I came got off, they said indefinitely, or they said indefinitely. I think they said indefinitely, or because I think it was only for 12 hours, but they just stretched it out now, right? But now, y'all worried at the end. So they're very concerned that he's gonna have them doing something, and probably so, because why they still there? Evidently, they're not afraid, and evidently they on some kamikaze shit. Like they willing to die for this shit, right? Because I don't know how true it is, but I know I heard yesterday on CNN that the lady said, you know, while she was down there on the floor and they was tending to her, she said something. What did she spread out? Oh, I remembered it. I don't forgot. But she said something regarding the fact, you know, like Trump lives or we ain't going nowhere. You know, she said some shit, right? So they got a slogan, and it might be we will not back down or something, you know, because that's what they keep saying. So I don't know, y'all. All I'm saying is, be careful out there. Don't trust these Karens. Don't trust these Bobs. Don't trust their cousins. Okay. All right, y'all. I just had to get on here and talk about it. Don't forget to drop down in the description box and like, share, comment, and subscribe. Whoo! You know, like, share, comment, and subscribe. So everybody, keep your head on the swivel. Keep your head on the swivel and pay attention, okay? All right. Thank you for watching Jackie with a Q. Where the Q stands for Queen. Where the Q stands for Questions. And the Q stands for Quality of Life, okay? Bye-bye, guys.